Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me in this video today. I've got a few different things on deck here. One, we are going to be taking a look at what I ended up ordering from Kringle Candles Part 1 Halloween launch. We will also, kind of towards the end of this video, be discussing a little bit about what is coming out for Part 2. Now, I did not receive the Part 2 of the Halloween collection. I only got Part 1, so no, I have not been slacking on reviews, guys. They only sent me the first part, and you know what? That's okay, because I really didn't have time to do another round of reviews, but I'm not going to get too deep into what's coming for Part 2. I'll just talk about what's on my shopping list, and everything here will be time-stamped. But before I get into those two things, I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you guys so much for all the support. Everyone who used my code for that Halloween Part 1 launch from Kringle, I was blown away. I really didn't expect that amount of support. I am one of the smaller ambassadors. I don't have the huge loyal following that some of the bigger ambassadors that you probably know do. Like, they are constantly in the know, and I'm just kind of one of the little guys. So they send me stuff every once in a while, and I just try to make the most of it, give you guys the best reviews I can, and you guys really you really showed up for me, and that was very humbling. So what I decided to do in the interest of supporting some of the little guys out there, what I decided to do was take 3 small businesses that I've been eyeing for a while. They all have a sort of Halloween theme. And this past week, I did 3 purchases, so 1 from each small business. And once I have those here and I have the chance to film, which we're probably looking at the last week of August into early September for those, I will kind of do a separate video for each of those businesses, what I ordered, what my impressions are of their products, and just as my way of sort of kind of paying it forward, putting some money back into like the little guys out there. I've always told you guys, whenever anybody uses my code and I make a commission, it basically goes right back into this channel. So that's what I chose to do this time around. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, without too much further ado here, now that we have that out of the way, I did put a paid partnership label on this video. But everything here I did purchase myself, but because I will kind of be talking about some of the ones that I had received previously, I didn't want to get flagged or anything. So just so you know, everything here is my own purchase. But yeah, we will we'll get into my order here, and I think we'll start with the 2 that are new to me, and then we will go back to some of the repeat purchases that I felt were worthy. All right, kicking things off with the new to me candy corn. I like the label with the little pumpkin up there. For me, candy corn I purchased when it first came out. This is actually the original candy corn that they poured from Kringle. Different scent, different label, different wax. This is actually like the black paraffin soy blended wax, for those who remember. But I always put off buying the new version because I had so much of this left to use up. And last year I was going to finally, take the plunge, and then they didn't bring it back last year. So this year when I saw it on the list, I said, you know what, I'm finally going to buy it. I've heard this is not an authentic candy corn, and I have to say I definitely agree with that. This is not authentic candy corn if that's what you're looking for. I'll give you guys the notes here. We've got rich caramel, golden honey, sweet praline, nutmeg, cinnamon, creamy vanilla, and toasted almond. Honestly, I was more drawn to the toasted almond note here than anything else. I love almond scents. I love pistachio, anything in that sort of nutty family. So I figured as long as I got like the almond quality, I'd be happy with this. And on cold, I do get the almond note. It's very rich and sweet. Definitely not candy corn. I don't get a whole lot of the spice. I did burn this once though, and the whole time it was burning, I'm going, oh my gosh, this reminds me of something else. This is very familiar, and I, for the life of me, could not figure out what it was, and it was driving me crazy. It's one of those things. I'm like, is it another candle that I had? Is it a real life smell? Like, what is this reminiscent of? And yesterday in the Kringle Facebook group, Drew, one of the other ambassadors, posted this and said, does anybody else think it smells like sprinkled macarons? And I said, oh my gosh, Kringle's sprinkled macarons in the reserve line, Everyone says that also smells a lot like Marshmallow Morning. So I didn't have the Macaron one, but I did have Marshmallow Morning, and I said, oh my gosh, that is it. That is what I'm smelling here. This smells a whole lot like Marshmallow Morning from Kringle. I think it came out maybe, what, 3 falls ago, 3 or 4? I don't even know anymore. But I get a lot of that in here. Very much rich sort of caramel quality to it. It's almost very buttery to my nose, and I think that's why I don't necessarily love this one. Marshmallow Morning, I didn't end up repurchasing either because it was okay, but after a while it was just a little too almost buttery tone to me. And I get a little bit of that here. So we'll see how this burns. I do think it is slightly different than that one, but if you liked that one, you'll probably like this one. But for me, you know, I like it. I don't love it. I'll burn it, but it'll probably be a one and done. But yeah, that's my feelings so far here on Candy Corn, one of the new to me candles from part 1. And I have one more new to me, also a similar situation where I had the original version, and that is Sleepy Hollow. That one I didn't dig out my original. It's downstairs somewhere, but this is the new Sleepy Hollow label. Really cute, like the little jack-o'-lantern up here. And for me, again, I like the old one better. I'm sorry. I like the old one. The new Sleepy Hollow notes: pumpkin spice, incense, cedarwood, clove, caramel, and citrus. The old pumpkin Hollow, Sleepy Hollow, the old Sleepy Hollow was a little bit more, I think, kind of smoky, earthy. It had pumpkin in there, but it wasn't nearly as sweet as this is. And I think I like this, but I don't love it again. And I think it's that sweet caramel here, which is honestly sweeter than I would have expected for this one. I do get the pumpkin, I do get that incense and the woods, but the caramel, and I will say in the first burn, I got a lot of caramel. The second burn, it did seem to tone down a little bit. So what I'm hoping is that by the time I hit like the 3rd, 4th burn, which I feel like is usually sort of the sweet spot for Kringle fragrances, hopefully by the time I hit that, it will find like its true self in fragrance. So I don't know, I'm still holding out some hope that maybe this will keep growing on me a little bit more, but right now I'm finding it to be a little bit of like a sweeter pumpkin spice with a little bit of an earthy sort of incense in there, a little bit of woods, but it's almost coming across slightly like, I don't know if musky is the right word, or amber, but there's something just warm and kind of off that I wasn't expecting from this one. Almost like the same way Warm and Toasty has like that warm amber that kind of like, I think takes over that smoky element, like the marshmallow piece a little bit. Like I'm getting a little bit of that here with that sweet caramel, and I don't know, maybe the cedarwood, but I like it. I don't love it. I'm hoping it will grow on me. But in either case, I'm glad I waited till now to get it in a different label. That's always why I had put off, you know, trying the new one before, because I had the old label and the old scent, and I think I bought 2 of those, and I think I still have 1 full jar of that. So I wasn't in a hurry, but I wanted to finally try it because a lot of you guys ask about Sleepy Hollow as well. So those are my 2 sort of new to me scents from this order, and the rest are repeats. All right, so let's go with Haunted Hallows. This is a repeat for me. I have it burning again in this hurricane here behind me. Haunted Hallows came out last year. I only got around to burning it, I think, once or twice before Kringle ended up sending me their holiday candles in September last year. So I really didn't get to spend a whole lot of time with anything fall or Halloween last year. So I kind of put it on the back burner, and then I dug it out once I saw the list of what was coming back this year for Halloween. Started burning it again to see if I was going to need another one, and well, I definitely did need another one. Haunted Hallows, we've got notes of wood smoke, fir, herbal, apple, patchouli, and musk, and I just love this one. It does have a hint of like a wintry, almost holiday feel, especially on cold, with the fir and the apple in here, but It also has that patchouli and the musk and that smokiness that, especially once it's gotten going and it's burning for a while, I do feel it leans a little bit more into the fall lane versus holiday. And if you guys are familiar with Tranquil Winter from Kringle, they came out in the wintertime last year. That one has very similar scent notes to this one. If you liked Tranquil Winter, that one I think was more fir, more apple, and more holiday feel. I think it had a little spice in there as well. This is almost like its cousin, where if you tone down the fir, you tone down the apple, add in a little bit more of a spooky sort of element to give it more of that fall Halloween lean, you've got Haunted Hallows. And oh, I just love it. I've been burning it a lot lately since I wrapped up reviews, and I get the wood smoke in here. I love wood smoke as a scent note. I get the fir, I get the apple, and it's just beautiful. And it's almost sort of a soothing kind of way, like with that herbal element here. It's sort of fresh. It's definitely a transition scent to me, going like late fall into that early winter time frame where you still have like a little bit of time before the dead of winter, before holidays pick up, but it's still pretty cold. This is like the perfect fit. So Haunted Hallows, it's sold out, and then they restocked it. When I checked before filming here, it was still available. So if you have not tried this yet and you're looking for something like in that sort of outdoorsy range of fragrances, which they really didn't do a whole ton of outdoorsy candles in that first part one of the new scents. If you're looking for that, I would recommend taking a look at Haunted Hallows. Definitely, especially if you like a good tree note. I love the way Kringle does tree notes. I have so many of their tree scents. So yeah, I had to get in a jar of Haunted Hallows. I don't know. I almost kind of want to pick up another one, but I'm trying to be good. So I think one will do for now, but definitely had to repurchase. All right, next, the one everyone's been talking about, Pumpkinhead. Very cool label. We won't talk a ton about this for a few reasons. I'll give you guys the notes quick. Pumpkin, spice, orange, cinnamon, clove, and vanilla. This one sold out. I think it was on the website for about 20 minutes as it lasted, and I know there was so much hype around this one, and I'm sorry guys, I really was not trying to hype this one up when I reviewed it, but I really had a strong feeling that this was going to sell out quickly, and if you wanted it, you had to kind of be on there ready to go right at the launch, and that was the case. And, you know, to be fair, they sent me one and there was a limit of 2 for everybody who ordered. So instead of ordering 2, I only ordered 1 to stay within the 2 limit. I wanted to be fair, and I wanted to make sure you guys had a chance to, you know, to get your hands on it, as many of you as possible. So that was what I chose to do, but I easily could have ordered another one of this. I just love it so much. I get the pumpkin, I get the spice, I get that orange in there, complementing everything and sort of wrapping it up. Got that nice sort of creamy vanilla. Yeah, it's pumpkin spice, but it's just a really well done pumpkin spice that I happen to love, and the performance was great. I will link this review and the reviews that I did for the next 2 I have here, full in-depth reviews. They will be in the description of this video for anybody interested. But yeah, I really love Pumpkinhead and had to get one more. So hopefully they bring it back. I feel like Kringle, they're usually pretty good about bringing things back if they can. Next year, not this year. This year it's done. If you do see it pop in on the website, it's because they're kind of letting go of the stragglers that they hold back just in case of breakages and things like that. So sometimes you might see one pop in available very briefly and then it's gone. That's what's happening there if you see it. But not being restocked this time around, it's sold out. But hopefully next year we see it again. I think Haunted Hallows, I think, sold out fairly quick last year and they brought it back and came back again this year. So I think when they see that demand, they usually will bring it back. They didn't do that with Cute Black Cat on a Pumpkin. I think that's the name. That's a long name. But yeah, for Pumpkinhead, because it's sort of in this sort of core Halloween, maybe I think we have a better chance of seeing it again. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Glad to have another one. And I will be saving this for like, well, saving my first one, the rest of my first jar for that kind of prime October, right into smack into Halloween season burning. That's when I'm going to be enjoying that one the most. All right, these next two were sort of like strategy buys for me. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did limit myself to 6 jars because I didn't want to go too overboard. I wanted to stick to 1 candle crate. That's kind of my goal that I have loosely for myself, is to at least clear out a 1 candle crate, so 6 candles each season. Ideally each month, but that doesn't always work. But each season I try to get 6 out. So I said, let me limit myself to 6 in, even though I did already get, you know, these in PR. So it was hard to make decisions. This one I ended up going with because I really loved it, and I'm just not sure it's going to get, or is getting, the love that I have for it from all of you guys. So I don't know if it will come back again or not, and I wanted to have one more just in case. That's Chest of Chaos. I don't know. The notes here, this is one of the ones that the notes are wrong on the bottom of. I think it's warm spice, cypress, peach, vanilla, tonka bean, armoire, and patchouli. This one, again, I fully reviewed this one. I'll have that link in the description. But I know peach doesn't scream Halloween, but there's just something about the woodsy notes here. It's warm, it's woodsy, it's a little spiced. It's just, I just love this one. I loved every minute of the review burn that I did, and I said, you know what? It's unique enough that I feel like I want to have another one just in case. And yeah, it ended up making the cut for that reason. So I don't know. I just really love Chest of Chaos. It's a little bit on the lighter side, but I also feel like it does hold its own. And I think with a little bit of time, like if I let this sit for a while, I think the strength will improve a little bit. And honestly, guys, when I burn on my own, when I'm not reviewing, I burn in a hurricane just like this most of the time. One, it gives me a little protection against my little ones bumping into it and getting into trouble with a candle going. But two, it really does help the Kringle candle performance with the soy wax and these jars. You have 2 wicks, but the soy really likes a lot of heat. And I feel like I get my best performance when I use a hurricane. So I know some people argue you shouldn't need a hurricane to get good performance, and I do agree, but you know what? I love the candles, I love the scents, and I'm willing to pick up, I think this was like 25 bucks at Home Goods. I'm willing to do that. So for me, it works, and it works in my home, and I love the scent. So repeat purchase of Chest of Chaos. All right, so the last one to make the cut for a repeat purchase, this was a tough one. I was really torn between 2 different scents. One of them was Bloody Mary, which I reviewed. I really loved it, but I know not everyone did. And I think a lot of people are a little bit scared about trying it. For me, I really enjoyed Bloody Mary. I got great performance out of it. I felt like it was like outside the box and outside my wheelhouse, but it really totally surprised me. So I was going to get that one, but then I was like, there's another one that I feel like is a little bit more versatile, still very Halloween and outside my comfort zone, that surprised me. But I feel like because it's a little bit more versatile, I think I'm going to go with that one. And I think a lot of you are trying this one over Bloody Mary. So I had a feeling that maybe this one will sell out sooner. I am talking about Conjuring. So for Conjuring, this one, the notes: wood, cedar, violet, herbal, amber, and spice. Totally outside my wheelhouse. Again, I reviewed it and the link will be in the description, but for me, I think now that I see a lot of you getting your orders in, a lot of you are making the same connections that I did, comparing this to Witch's Cauldron and Witching Hour. So that makes me feel good that I didn't steer you guys wrong, that you're having like the same sort of impression of this one. I still feel like this sort of sits between the middle of those 2 fragrances, and I like this one better than both of them. And it blends, I feel like, really well with my other Halloween scents and other things that I want going in my home. Usually I'll have like 2 different things going, and this just felt like a little bit more compatible with other scents, so a little bit more versatile, good performance as well. And for me, I said, let me just make sure I have another jar, because honestly, Bloody Mary, it's so strong and it really doesn't have like too much of a warm-up period. Like it just, you light it and it goes. That I felt like if I don't get my hands on another jar, like I can stretch that one a little bit more than this one, where I like to kind of have going as sort of my background, medium high performance blender scent. This one I felt like I needed a little bit more priority to. So yeah, it was a tough call. I easily could get another jar of Bloody Mary. There's also two others that I was really having a hard time deciding if I wanted another one. London Fog really surprised me. I enjoyed that one a lot. And Mummy Marshmallow, you know what? It's kind of, I feel like not the most unique scent, but for what it is, I really love what it is. Like a nice sort of fire scent, just a little bit of that marshmallow in there. I like it so much better than Warm and Toasty that has like that sweet sort of amber, almost like perfumey sort of tone to it. Mummy Marshmallow was just so good. Like, I'm really debating going back in for that one too. But again, kept it to 6, and these made the original cut. So these are the ones I've been enjoying the most, and I think the new jars here, these will probably just sit until next Halloween, and hopefully that helps a little bit of the strength too, because once they sit for a while, I feel like the strength usually will improve a little bit. It has more time for the oils to kind of marinate in the wax a little bit, and it's called curing for those who aren't familiar with the term. But these will sit, and I'll revisit them probably next year and work on the jars that I have going already from reviews. But yeah, that's what made the cut. So let me know what you ended up ordering, what your thoughts are in the comments. I'm always curious. Some of you have already checked in, so I'm glad. I know a few of you took my Bloody Mary advice and tried it and loved it, so I'm so glad to hear that. But what else have you tried? Do you like them? Do you not? And now we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up in round 2. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Halloween Part 2 from Kringle this year. Launch is happening on Friday, August 15th at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So daytime launch this time, not midnight. And there will be 2 different collections. First, we'll talk about the first one, the Boo Crew. So the Boo Crew, there's going to be 6 different scents, but 7 different label styles, because one will be the same scent in 2 different packaging. And for this collection, they will have a limit this time of 1. So usually they've done limits of 2. This will be 1 per fragrance. So just be aware of that going in. They don't have a lot of this in stock. I think it's the Ombre jars that takes a little bit longer production wise. So if they blow through the stock really quickly, it takes a little bit longer for them to be able to restock it. So they are doing a limit of 1 to hope that as many people that want to get them can get them, and let's hope that's enough. I think a couple of these will probably sell out, and the others I think might stick around a little bit. So depending what you're interested in, that's the situation for these, and they will be in tall ombre jars. I don't have any examples for you because I didn't buy the ombre last year when they introduced it, but it'll be sort of an ombre style of this with a sort of vintage label. And I will try to put the pictures up on the screen as I go through the list here, but they will be $34 each, again, just like the other Kringle jars for Halloween. And yeah, a limit 1. So just be aware. We'll kind of go through, I'll talk about the ones that are on my list. Lil Devil, which is the one that's going to have 2 different labels. So we have a puppy and a kitten version. So I guess it comes down to, are you a dog person or are you a cat person? Personally, I am a dog person, but in this case, I happen to like the kitten label a little bit more, so I'm not totally sure which one I'm going to end up with. Probably the puppy. It's a little puggle, which I almost ended up getting a puggle at one point in my life, so I'll probably end up getting the dog, but yeah, dogs or cats, which one are you? Let me know. But the Lil Devil scent, pumpkin, this is like your sort of pumpkin spice. There's some maple in there. So it sounds a little basic, so I don't know if it's going to be something super special, but I didn't get any of the ombre jars last year because the scents weren't really anything that were speaking to me. They had the cute little black cat on the pumpkin, which was a pumpkin spice scent as well, but I didn't want to pay shipping to buy 1 candle, and nothing else really interested me, so I skipped it all together. This time the scents are more interesting. I like the labels, so I'm going to try to grab a few, and I think this is going to be one of them, at the risk of it being sort of basic pumpkin spice, but you never know. And I will report back to you guys once I do get my nose on it. All right, next on my list is Ghost Stories. I think I'm going to take a chance on that one based on the notes. It sounds like a sort of woodsy, spicy sort of scent, a little bit of pepper in there, juniper, wood fire, clove, smoky guaiac wood, and chestnut, and things like that. It's got my attention. I like those sort of woodsy scents, and there wasn't too much of a like woodsy scented candle in the lineup this year for part 1, so I feel like I'll take a chance on ghost stories. I'll have the full notes, scent notes on the description here as well. But yeah, I think that one, I like the label as well. So that'll be a good one for me. And then the last one on my list for the Boo Crew collection is Boo-Whoo. I like the little owls on the label. It's really cute. That sounds like a sort of, again, spicy scent, but with some creamy elements in there and a little bit of amber wood, which maybe this will have a little bit of a masculine lean. I don't know. I really liked the amber wood in, I think it was London Fog from the first launch. So I think based on the notes, rich cream and cinnamon and cardamom and all that, I'm going to take a chance on Boo-Whoo. I like that one, and I think hopefully that will work for me. And again, once I get these in after I order, you know, I don't know if things will still be available or not by the time I get them to share a video, but I'll definitely share my first impressions with you guys once I have those. The other ones in this collection that I'm not looking at purchasing are Bobbing for Apples, which apple scent, as you might imagine. Howl at the Moon, which I believe, I didn't write the notes down for this, but I think it's plum. I think there was like 2 different kinds of plum and some floral notes in there, and it just sounded a little too perfumey for my taste. So that was a pass. And then the last one, Scary Movie Night, which is a buttered popcorn scent. And I'm not a big fan of popcorn scents, especially buttery ones. I might have been able to get on board if it was like a kettle corn or something like that. But buttery popcorn, I'm thinking I'm going to pass on that. That's not really my thing. Buttery scents and me sometimes don't mix. So definitely going to pass on Scary Movie Night, at least for now. And yeah, that's what I have on my list. So I haven't really looked at any reviews. I might check out a few reviews before I end up placing the order, but I like to go in sort of fresh. So that's where I'm looking at right now. And again, I'll try to report back to you guys once I have these. But are any of these on your list? Please let me know in the comments. And then we have one more collection to talk about, and that is Spellbound. All right, so for the Spellbound collection, again, we're just going to kind of quickly go through this just because I don't have them in front of me, but you can always find those notes on the wall of my page, and I'll have the list in the description. But Spellbound, different look this year. We had Spellbound last year in the apothecary jars. They were like black apothecary jars like the country candles, but you know, in a different shade, and they had the little chants on them. This time we've got 16-ounce jars, a new vessel here, 2 wicks. They're clear glass with the little, I guess it's like the printed on, like the 3 wicks were, the printed on labels. And again, with the chants, and they will also, again, have the little gems on top of the wax that you can remove or you can burn with them in there. I hear they've, you know, had no problems with anyone burning them in there. They just kind of sink down, but you can easily remove them off the top. They're not like too embedded in the wax, where if you just want to pop them off, you can do that too. But the price point is going to be $25. Originally, they had said $30, and then they walked it back. I think a lot of people were saying that's just way too much for what these are, and I agree. I even feel like the $25 is a little steep and turning some people off, myself included. That's a lot. I feel like for 16 ounces and 2 wicks, I was almost hoping they were going to come out with a 3-wick version, something like a revamped 3 wicks, since they discontinued those painted jar 3 wicks. But yeah, 2 wicks is what they're going with. And for me, I think I'm just going to purchase one. And it's more so for the fact that I frequently review candles and I want to try the performance for myself, just in case we start seeing more of this vessel in the future, just so I have a little bit of a reference for you guys, how it burns, what the comparison is. Kringle says they are comparable to a medium jar, so I guess we will see. But I'll just kind of give you the list of the scents here, and then I'll point out the one that I'm interested in. But we've got 6 different scents here: Abundant Blessings, Divine Clarity, Healing Light, Inner Fire, Tranquil Mind, and then the one that I am interested in, Sacred Protections, which that one sounds to be a tree scent. And because they didn't really do too many like tree scents other than the return of Haunted Hallows this year for Halloween, I was really hoping Cabin in the Woods was going to be like my sort of outdoorsy tree scent, and that didn't end up being the case. So for the tree notes here, evergreen, cedarwood, fir, balsam, wood smoke, that has my attention here for this one, and I think I'm gonna take a chance on that one, Sacred Protections. And again, I will report back to you guys what I think. I think even if I don't get to that in the Halloween time frame, I think like it sounds like it will probably be a good sort of transition scent or even winter scent. So that's what my thought process is for these. Some of you guys have already let me know what your opinions are on this collection in the like the community section of my page here. But if you want to chime in the comments, let me know. What are you thinking? Are you picking up any Spellbound candles? Because honestly, guys, I feel like if you're on a budget and you have to cut something, these might make it to a sale or clearance at some point. So if you have to make a cut, I would go for the Boo Crew first, and you know, maybe come back around to these at a later date. Maybe the price will be a little bit lower, but you know, I'm sorry, Kringle, I have to be honest. That's just my opinion, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking here for part 2. So if you're shopping, let me know what you're thinking of getting. Again, let me know what you thought about your part 1 order. If you got those in, I hope you've gotten them in. I know shipping worked really hard to try to get those orders out, and they're still working hard. So hopefully they are caught up by the time the part 2 launch takes place. But that's where we're at. So thank you guys for tuning in for another video. Make sure you give it a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely make sure you do that if you enjoyed this. I have some plans coming up for hopefully a lot more regular content going forward here as my kiddos go back to school, and I can kind of devote at least a day or two a week to producing a video or some sort of content. I'm hoping to have something a little bit more regular here, and you know, I thank you guys for sticking around. I know I'm trying to work on some things. I'm not tech savvy. I know I talk too much, so I'm trying to rein it in, and hopefully as the content gets here a little bit more regular, I get a little bit more comfortable here, and you guys stick around. So I'm glad to have you here. But yeah, that's my order from Halloween. That's what I'm thinking about for part 2. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.